just make our way down to the mat, resting your head and your feet on the mat. Your knees will be bent. You can rest your hands either on the mat by your sides or on your hips. And we're just going to start with 4 big inhales and exhales. So you can close your eyes and take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale through the mouth, let it all go. For 3, feeling your ribs feel. For 3, feeling your ribs open from east to west. On these next 2 inhales and exhales, I want you to start thinking about engaging your core as you exhale. So take a nice big inhale, feel everything expand. Exhale out, really engage that core, lifting through the pelvic floor. Last time, inhale. Exhale out. Let it all go. You can open your eyes. Your hands can come to the front of your hips now if they were already there. Take an inhale, and as you inhale, I want you to imprint that low back into the mat, tilting your hips up towards your head, finding our pelvic rocking. And exhale, you'll tilt your hips towards your feet, arching that low back off of the mat. We'll rock from north to south here, releasing tension in that QL muscle. And bringing attention to how it feels as you imprint that low back and then arch the low back away. We'll go for 2 more. Notice the front of your hips, how they're moving up and down. And on this last one, you'll find a center where your sacrum is heavy on the mat and your hips are shooting up towards the ceiling. I said this before, some of us may have a small gap in between the low back and the mat, and that's fine. It's just the natural curve of your spine. What I don't want you doing is purposefully imprinting that low back. It's not going to do much for your core. We want to be engaged and we want to feel tension throughout the whole front of our body. Now sway your knees over to the right. We'll find balance and center from east to west. Bring your knees back through center and we'll sway them over to the left. Your hands can be either on your belly, on your hips, or on the mat. And we'll just sway from left to right, feeling our sacrum massage on the mat. Wherever you are, we're going to go for 2 more times each way. Last time, we're going to sway those knees over to the right. And then come through center. Sway them over to the left. Beautiful. Bring your knees back through center, shooting up towards the ceiling. Our hips are fully shooting up to the ceiling now that we know where our center of balance is. And just for a moment, let's feel our points of contact. Our feet and heels are on the mat. Our sacrum's heavy on the mat. Back ribs and the back of your head is flat on the mat. If you have a hair clip in, take it off. Hands will reach up to the ceiling just to come behind your head. Your thumbs will rest into the nape of your neck, and your elbows are in your peripherals. I don't want you to have them all the way out to the side where we're popping our chest. In your peripherals. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, tuck chin to chest. And then begin to curl up head, neck, and shoulders, finding your ab curl. And then inhale to lower down. We'll go for 6. As you come up, I want you to think about pulling your bottom ribs to your hips and closing that space. We've got 4 more. Really press your head heavy into your hands here. Find that iso press to protect your neck. And it also helps you to lift up a little bit more. We've got 3. We'll add on in 2. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift and hold up in your ab curl. Extend your arms by your sides. Lower down, your arms will reach up towards the ceiling, palms facing down. Hundreds prep. Inhale, tuck chin to chest as your arms glide down towards your hips. And then we'll lower down, hands will reach back up to the ceiling. We'll go for 3. Adding on in 2. Ribs to hips for 1. Hold here. Pump those arms up an inch, down an inch, finding our hundreds. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze that space between the ribs and the hips together. Reach your fingertips away. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you have space in between your chin and your neck? Last set. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, arms reach back up to the ceiling. We're going to add on just to finish our hundreds. Float one leg to tabletop and then float the other leg to tabletop. You can glue those legs together if helpful. If you have tight hip flexors, I want you to let your knees externally rotate out. Find what works for your body. Take an inhale. Exhale, curl up head, neck, and shoulders and let your arms glide down. Pump. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to extend your legs out, high diagonal or up to the ceiling, challenge yourself. And if you want to add breath, inhale. Big exhales out. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down, rock side to side. Great job. Whew. Take a moment, take a breath. Grab water if you need it. When you're ready, you'll meet me with your legs and feet back down on the mat, preparing ourselves for bridge. We have our hands by our sides, and we're reaching the fingertips away so that it glides our shoulder blades down and back. You may need to walk your feet a little closer to your heels, but it'd really be just about like a handprint away from your butt. Inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, I want you to tuck that tail and print your low back into the mat. And then begin to articulate that spine up into your low, medium, or high bridge. And we'll hold here for a moment just so we can center ourselves. Holding in your bridge, can you reach your kneecaps away even more? Find space in the front of your body. Reach those fingertips away. And then articulate your spine down, one vertebra at a time, back to the mat. The last thing to touch will be your tailbone. Come back to neutral. We'll do that 6 more times and then we'll add on, lifting up, reaching those kneecaps away, and then lowering down, nice and slow and controlled. We're not rushing through these. We've got 4 more. Is your ribs in line with your hips as you lift up? Careful not to pop your pubic bone forward. Keep yourself in a nice long line from chest all the way down to knee. Last 3. And 2. Last one. You'll meet me in your bridge. Hold here, little pulses. Up an inch, down an inch. We'll go for 10. Reach your fingertips away. Find space in your chest. I should be able to fit a golf ball between your chin and your chest. We've got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Reach those kneecaps. 2, 1. Lower down. Great job. Maybe you rock your knees side to side for a moment. We're going to hit another bridge series and add on here. When you're ready, both feet will be flat on the mat. Come up onto your right toes. Lift it up onto our right toes. Tuck your tail, lift up into your bridge. Notice how that feels different. And then we'll lower ourselves back down. This is going to be more of a hinge at the hips versus articulation. What I really need you to focus on is that you're stretching out in the front of your hips, but you're not popping your pubic bone forward too much. I don't want you to feel any strain in your low back. We'll go for a 5. Squeeze into that right heel. Right ball of the foot, excuse me. Feeling this in the right hamstring and the right glute burning up. We've got 2 more and then we'll add on. And last one, hold legs lifted. Up in your bridge. Reach those kneecaps away. Hold. Begin to shift your weight into the left heel. You're going to float the right leg to tabletop. And we'll find our toe tap. A single leg toe tap. Tap right toes to the mat and then float to tabletop. We'll go for 4, 3, adding on into, and last one. Hold that leg to tabletop. Can you stay up in your bridge? Kick that leg to the ceiling. Flex your foot, lower it down. Point and kick to the ceiling. Flex, lower, finding our shoulder bridge. You've got 4, you've got it. 3, that leg's only coming in line with the left. Last 2, tuck your tail. Last 1, bring that leg to tabletop and then lower yourself back to the mat. Woo. Prepare to hit that other side. And one side always feels worse than the other one, so don't be surprised. Okay. Grab some water if you need it. But if you're with me, you're going to come up onto those left toes. Prepare. Exhale, tuck tail, lift up into your bridge. Long line here. And then we'll lower. Things to think about. You're squeezing into the glutes, reaching kneecaps away, and lower. Is there space between your chin and chest? You've got 6, 5, or 4. Adding on in 3. We know it's coming. For 2. Last one. Hold here. Begin to shift your weight into that right foot. Press into the right heel. Float left leg to tabletop. Reach fingertips down. Press into your triceps. Tap the left toes and lift. Tap and lift. Incorporate your breath. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. We've got 3, 2. Last one. Leg comes to tabletop. Kick the toes to the ceiling. Flex your foot. Lower it down in line with your right leg. Point the toe and lift. Flex. Lower. Point. Lift. Finding our shoulder bridge. You've got it. We've just got 5. 4. Squeeze into the right oblique. Press into that right heel for stability. We've got 2. Last one. Lower everything down. Lower your hips down. Pull your legs to chest. And maybe you just find a little external rotation. Take a happy baby pose. Do what feels good to release any tension you may have in your body. Grab some water. Amazing. Whew. We're going to hit our ab series next. You're going to meet me in a seated position so you can, excuse me, grab behind your thighs and roll yourself up to seated. You'll meet me in a seated position and you'll have your knees bent in front of you. You might need to pull them a little closer than you think. Hips distance apart. We'll start with our hands on the back of our thighs and press thighs and hands into each other to find an iso press, just so we sit up nice and tall on our sit bones. I want you to think long line. Take a big inhale to prepare, and on your exhale, you're going to tuck that tail and then just lift back up. We're just going to do some pelvic rocking here. Tuck, just a slight tuck. And then lift, just a micro tuck. You'll barely even feel it. Enough. We'll just go for 2 more. And up. Last one. And lift. Now you'll tuck your tail and you'll begin to roll back into your C curve. Your hands will glide down your thighs. Find a shaky point. And then curl yourself up. When you hit your tailbone, you'll rebuild your spine nice and tall. We'll go for 5. Your gaze is your gaze is on the horizon. So I don't want you looking deep into your chest. Look forward, but down. I would even say you can look at the bottom edge of your mat. We've just got 3 more, and then we'll begin to add on. Last one. You'll find your C curve, and then you'll let your hands continue to glide down your thighs, lowering yourself all the way down to the mat. Legs will reach out long, and hands will be above your shoulders, fingertips towards each other, palms towards each other. Pull that right leg into chest, and we'll grab behind the thigh. This will be a layer that you can take at any point. Begin to curl up head, neck, and shoulders. Press hand and thigh into one another to lift yourself up off the mat, reaching those arms in front of us. Tuck your tail and then lower back, finding our roll up. Arms will reach above your shoulders. Now we'll pull the left leg to chest. Press thigh and hands into one another and curl up head, neck, and shoulders, coming up to seated. And on this one, we'll round forward. Take a nice stretch. Now you can either stick with your half roll back, or you can do the leg to chest, hand on thigh modification for your roll up. But if you're with me, your hands will come in front of us, shoulder height, shoulder distance apart. Sit up nice and tall on your sit bones. Tuck your tail and begin to roll yourself back. Really press your heels into the mat. Flex your feet. Arms will reach back at a high diagonal. And then press your arms down as you begin to peel your spine off of the mat, reaching forward, and then round over your thighs. Come up to seated, and you can either come up all the way, elongated spine, or you can have a rounded spine and just go right into your roll up. Find what you like to do. Wherever you are, we have 5 more. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, peel your spine off the mat. We've got 3 more. You guys are doing amazing. You can do anything you put your mind to, including these really difficult roll-ups. Last 2. A little momentum is okay. Last 1. We'll lower ourselves down, and the good news is we'll stay here. Shake your legs out, wiggle your hands. Awesome. Now we'll get into our ab series of 5. I'm going to switch up the ab series of 5 a little bit just to make it more fun, maybe. Bring one leg to tabletop and then bring the other leg to tabletop. If you have, again, tight hip flexors, let your legs externally rotate and pull your legs closer to chest. Release the hip flexors. Wherever you are, you're going to grab behind both thighs, curl yourself up, head, neck, and shoulders. Find an iso press with thighs to hands to lift up even more. Hold on to that right leg, and that left hand will come behind your head just for support. Shoot left toes out long, and then pull them in, out, and in. That's at like a 45-degree angle. The lower you go, the more challenging it will be. Scoop those abs up and in, And you can always bring your head down to the mat. We'll go for 6, 5, adding on in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that leg extended. Lift it up and then lower it down. Straight leg, lower lift. Exhale, lift. Check in with your neck. Do you have space in between your chest and your chin? We'll go for 4, 3, 2. Last one. Lift that leg, bring it back to tabletop. Can you stay in this ab curl? Bring your left hand around your left shin and right hand around right shin. Curl up even more into a tiny little ball. We'll come through center with our double leg stretch. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, toes and fingers reach to the ceiling. Circle your arms down and around, back to your shins. Find your starting position. We'll reach and circle, reach and circle. We'll go for 5. 4, the lower you bring those legs, the more challenging it will be. And you can always drop your head to the mat. We have 3. And just move through your legs. 2. Last one. Pull it in. Everyone will lower everything down. And we're going to just rock side to side. Awesome. We'll hit that side on the right. And then we'll flip over and do something different. Whew. Grab behind the thighs. Curl up head, neck, and shoulders. That left hand will stay behind the left thigh. Right hand will come behind your head for support. Your elbows and your peripherals. Shoot right leg out and pull it in. Out and in. Out and in. Again, here, option to drop your head to the mat. Just move through your leg. Your abs are scooped up and in, thinking rib to your hip. And you have an iso press of the hand and head just for protection. We've got 5, 4, using the lower belly to pull that leg in. 2, 1, hold that leg extended. Kick toes to the ceiling and then lower. Kick and lower. If you need a slight bend in the knee, you can. My right hamstring is a little bit tighter than my left, so I need a little bend. We'll go for 5. Do you have space between your chin and your neck? Relax your jaw. 3, 2. Last one. Pull it in, lower down, and we'll rock side to side. Woo. So we've gotten through our scissor, our single leg stretch, and our double leg stretch. So now we just need to finish our ab series of 5 with a lower and lift and crisscross, which I'll be honest, crisscross is not my favorite. That's okay, we gotta practice. When you're ready, legs will come to tabletop, hands behind the thighs, just so we can curl ourselves up, head, neck, and shoulders. Both hands will now come behind your head for support. Heels together, toes apart. Your legs will externally rotate, creating a diamond shape with your legs. This shape is going to lower down an inch. And then exhale, use the pelvic floor, lift, lower, and lift. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Legs come to tabletop. Shoot left leg out, twist left armpit to right thigh, and then come through center. And switch. 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 That rotation is coming from your thoracic spine. That means from belly button up, you're massaging the back ribs. We've got 4, 3, 2, oops, and 1. I'm gonna knock my mirror down. Wouldn't that be a sight? And lower down. Woo! Owie! Great job, guys. Great job. And I'm here by myself talking to a camera, so after pretend you guys are here with me. You're doing great, honey. You're doing great, Kylie. How does it go? Kylie, you're doing great, sweetie. I don't know. We're all going to roll over to our side. We'll hit a little side leg series. Excuse me. So you can either be up in a side plank. I think I'm going to take this route today. Or you can come all the way down and just hold your head, or come all the way down onto your bicep. You have options here. I'm going to start up because I think I can do it today. We have our hips stacked on top of one another, feet stacked, knees stacked, and if you're in this side plank, you're lifted up and away like you're in a side plank, right? And if you are, I want your elbow a little bit above your shoulder so we're not collapsing down here. Now all we're going to do is start with a clamshell, opening up that top leg, and we'll lower. Open and lift. Tuck in with your neck alignment. I want a nice long neck, long spine. Whew. We'll lift and lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that leg lifted. Little pulses up an inch, down an inch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Reach that left arm in front of you, straight elbow, and we'll just lift that arm up to the ceiling. Maybe your gaze follows that arm, finding some work in our lat. We'll add on in 5. Are you lifted up and away from that bottom oblique? Lifted up and away out of that bottom shoulder for 2. Last one, hold that arm lifted, extend the top leg out. Lift the leg. Lower the arm as you lower the leg. Lift the leg, lift the arm, and lower. Remember to check in with your body. How are we feeling? These combo moves can be tough. We'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower everything down. Last thing here. Lift that leg up to shoulder. Lift that leg up to hip height. We'll find little circles forward, just the size of a paper plate. For 3, 2, and 1. Come to the starting point, and then we'll reverse those circles. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that leg down, and we'll tap it out. Now we'll lower ourselves all the way to the mat, coming down into our prone position, laying on our bellies. We'll start with a baby swan, so hands will be by our shoulders. Find the position you like for swan. Everyone's position changes when they get into swan, so don't stress it too much. Forehead will be on the mat. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press your hands into the mat and your forearms and begin to nod your chin and your chest. Coming into your baby swan position. And then we'll lower back down. Paw those hands into the mat and lift. See, I need to move my hands a little bit more up to get a good press into the mat to lift. So give it a try. I want your shoulders down and back, and you're pressing the front of your hips really heavy into the mat, so much so that maybe your kneecaps lift off the mat. And then we'll lower. On this next one, paw your hands into the mat, nod your chin and your chest forward, find your baby swan, and then extend your elbows, press front of hips into the mat, find your high swan. Shoulders are down and back. Lower yourself back down to the mat. Exhale, lift, really thinking about pressing front of the hips into the mat. And lower. Lift. And lower. We'll just go for 2. Only using this as a transition. And lower. Last one. You'll lift. And hold in your swan. Look over your left shoulder. Come through center. Look over your right. One more time. Over your left. Center. Over your right. Center. Nod yes. And then lower down. Beautiful. We'll take an intermission by giving ourselves a calf stretch. Grab one ankle and you can rest your forehead onto your right hand. And we'll just take a breath or two. Release the front of the hips. And release. We'll switch out the arm and we'll switch out the ankle. Grabbing opposite ankle and just letting your head rest on opposite hand. And take a few breaths. Maybe press the front of the hip into the mat to really open it up. And like I said, one side is always worse than the other. Just gotta make sure we do them both evenly. And release. You'll meet me in side lying, so we can redo that series on the other side. Find the arm position that you like to take. They don't have to be the same on each side. Your elbow will be a little bit above your shoulder if you're up, and lift up through that bottom side oblique. Feet are stacked on top of one another, knees are stacked on top of one another, and we have our hips stacked on top of one another. We're going to start with our clamshell, open and close. We'll open and close. If at any point you feel any tension here in your neck, just look down to that opposite shoulder. And we have a nice long neck, like we're a nice long line. We'll go for 6, 5, 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Hold little pulses up, an inch down, an inch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that leg down. Top arm will reach in front of you, straight elbow, and then we'll just lift that finger to the ceiling. Maybe your gaze follows if that feels good and is available to you. Always the option to drop back down to the mat. Take yourself out of this side plank. We're going to just wake up the lats here. Don't forget we're adding on. We've got 5 for 4. We'll add on in 3, 2, and 1. Lift fingertips to the ceiling. Shoot that bottom leg out. Lift leg off the mat. As you lower the arm, you'll lower the leg. We'll lift and lower, finding our combo move. Option to ditch any one that you want. Whatever's not feeling good for you. We've got 4. I'm ditching, following it with my eyes for 3, 2. Last one. Lower everything down. Beautiful. Whew. That top leg is extended out. Lift it off the mat. Little circles forward. Size of a paper plate. We'll go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll reverse for 5, 4, 3, 2. Lift that bottom side oblique. 1. Lower it down. Tap it out. Awesome job. Whew. Everyone's going to meet me in all 4s. We'll finish up here and then you'll be done with me. You're in an all 4s position. You have your feet underneath your feet. You have your heels. You have your knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. Slight micro bend in those elbows so that you're not locking out and so that you can lift and push yourself up and away from that mat, letting your shoulder blades really hug into your sides. And all we're going to do here is find some cat-cow, letting that belly drop, and then pushing the mat away, rounding the spine, looking down into your thighs. Taking this at your own pace. My hair is going to start to look crazy. Wherever you are, we'll go for just 2 more. We're going to hit a plank series. Last time, dropping the belly. Exhaling, scoop that belly up and in around the spine. Come through center. Find your strong position here. Long back, like I can sit a cup of tea on your back. Tuck your toes under. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, scoop the belly, hover your knees. And then lower your knees. Hover and lower, hover and lower. We'll just go for 3. Adding on into. Last one, lift your legs all the way up. Find down dog. Maybe you pedal it out. Great job. Walk your feet back a little bit. Press your heels into the ground. Stretch out the back of the leg. Pull yourself down. Find a high plank. Loop those abs up and in. Tuck your tail. Micro bend in those elbows. Inhale here. Exhale, push your hips up. Find down dog. Maybe you wiggle yourself around more. Find a position. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push. Finding our pike. Push, pike. We'll just go for 3. Adding on in 2. Lower your knees. Find a child's pose. Really press the palms of your hands into the mat to release the lats and release underneath the armpit. Take some big breaths. Fill your body up. Lower that heart rate. Begin to walk your left hand on top of your right hand. Find a side stretch in that left side. Walk your hands to center. And then the right hand will walk on top of the left hand. Find stretch in that right side. And then come through center. Walk your hands into your knees. And you'll have about a palm print away from your knees. We're going to do a seated cat-cow. Push your chest forward and find a nice little extension in your thoracic. And then push your chest in. Look down into your powerhouse. Really round the upper back here. Push your chest through your arms. Find extension. And then like I'm pulling on your bra strap, round that spine forward. We'll just go for 2. Last one. Beautiful. Come through center. And then we'll just lift up. Take any other stretches that you need. You are all done with me. Remember, you can do anything with a little bit of practice. I love you guys.